Meanwhile, in Mexico City, Mexico's unofficial World Cup mascot is Merlin the Duck, and he made a cameo in his team jersey. It's been a lot of fun to watch the joy around the World Cup. And in America, there's also more serious storylines, like the Iranian men's soccer team playing in the U.S., specifically Los Angeles, which happens to be home to one of the largest Persian communities in America. So large, in fact, that it's nicknamed Tehrangeles. The Iranian-American fans in L.A. really made a statement at Monday night's game, smuggling pre-revolutionary Iranian flags into SoFi Stadium. Outside the stadium, a powerful scene as fans handed out T-shirts bearing faces and names of protesters murdered by the regime. All of it comes at a pivotal moment for Iranian Americans and the U.S. and Iran as they try to reach a deal. So it's about more than just soccer. It's about identity and pride, and for many Iranian Americans, hope. Joining me now, an Iranian American who lives in Los Angeles and editor-in-chief of the Foreign Desk, Lisa Daftari. Lisa, I'd love for you to, I know this is elementary, but help us understand. I got a text from my brother during the game last night. He said, is it just me or are there a lot of Iran fans in LA? And he was concerned. And I said, well, it's the biggest Persian population in America. What's the relationship between that population in LA and the Iranian national soccer team?
Yeah, great question. And there's so much nuance in this story that relates to what's going on globally with regards to the United States and Iran's regime. As you said, Los Angeles is home to the largest expatriate Iranian community outside Iran. Iranians who have this awareness about we are here because they are there, meaning the regime, who have waited for this moment to potentially see a collapse of the regime so that the Iranians, 90 million of them in Iran, could be free, and Iranians here could travel freely back and forth to Iran, many of whom have either never been to Iran or have not been able to go back. This was a very, very complex moment for all Iranians, myself included.
Is it a hard calculation, Lisa, on whether or not to root for the team? Is the team seen as an extension of the regime or a hopeful will of the people in Los Angeles, the Persians in Los Angeles, and maybe a lot of the population obviously at home in Iran?
Yeah, it's very complex. For many, they went there because they knew they were going to carry the old flag, which represents anti-regime sentiments. They turned their backs when they played the national anthem. They rooted against the government. But what happens when those soccer players come out onto the field? There was a split. Some Iranians thought that they represent the Iranian people. Some said, no, they are agents of the regime. They're here because they represent the regime. They represent what the regime stands for, and we don't want them on U.S. soil. Or if the world's eyes are on this game, we Iranians here want to tell the world that this regime does not represent us. We represent us, meaning those who are freedom, wanting democracy, and wanting a collapse of this regime.
And just really quickly, there's a potential matchup between the U.S. and Iran. It would happen in the knockout stage. They'd potentially play each other. What would we see from the Persian population across America in that situation?
Yeah, so you see a lot of them carrying signs about the executions, 30 to 50,000 of them just killed this year alone from January till now. 2 were executed in the last 48 hours after the deal was announced. The Iranian people have one message for DC and for the regime, which is President Trump may want to look past the transgressions of this regime and sign a deal, but the Iranian people are not going to do that. They're not going to forgive, and they're not going to forget. They brought T-shirts with the names of many of those who were executed. Right. They want people to truly understand the nature of this regime.
All right. Lisa Daftari, thanks so much for being with us here today.
My pleasure.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.